The kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast representing the dad world order. I am the good-looking guy married to mom, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. With me as always, my two compadres. First up, we got Big Rig Eric Maffei. We say big guy.
What up?
Last but not least, rounding us out, our resident aromatherapy expert and world record holding, t-shirt wearing, all around nice guy, Mr. Wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
Oh, look, I got a sound effect now.
Every time I do this, do we get a big? There you go.
Like back in the day when you're a kid, I used to get such thrill of that, you know, going by the truckers.
I felt like Roman Reigns. Someone acknowledged me when I did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast, and we have with us today Mr. Denim Blevins, owner-operator of Battle on the Border Wrestling. Sir, how the heck are you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. It's a great time to be in Cincinnati. You got my Reds thriving, our Bengals thriving, Battle on the Border's thriving. Happy man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's pretty neat.
You know what? It is pretty neat. I have been a Cincinnati sports fan my entire life, and the past couple years have actually been, not as depressing as the first 28 were.
Yeah, showing some promise, turning the corner.
Yeah. I love it because, it's exciting for me as a fan or us as a fan, but actually what it does to, the community as well. Everybody seems to kind of, the entire spirits.
The energy's everywhere, man, and you start bringing out the casuals, and it really starts snowballing when you get the casuals involved.
Love it. I love that energy.
Yeah. I got season tickets for the first time in my life, and I feel like an elite Bengals fan at this point.
You got the Bengals season tickets?
Yeah, we weren't able to get them for this year. We had to buy a bunch of the tickets for this year, but I officially have them for next year, and I already get access to the season ticket benefits. So I feel anytime someone's like, "Oh, I love the Bengals," I'm like, "Do you?"
Yeah.
Well,
put your money where your mouth is. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a great year to have them, and those tickets are kind of like priceless, if it's a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
You can almost name your own price, especially late in the season.
Now, do you, Cephas, since you're a season ticket holder, if they do make the Super Bowl, don't you get first dibs or something like that?
Even though my seats aren't until 2024 season, because I am a season ticket holder and I'm in the books now, when we get a playoff game this year, I get first dibs of the sale. So I get, which you bet your ass, I'm buying as many seats as they'll let me, even
whatever the max is, right?
Yeah, so I can resell a couple.
Yep. And then you're going for free.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. So, second question here for you, Denim. It's also a very important question. What do you keep your thermostat at?
Okay, so I'm going to say 69, 68.
Perfect.
I like it. I like it cold though.
Perfect answer.
I keep the fan on in the winter too, so I'm one of them guys.
It keeps the air moving,
Yeah, but I'm a big bull. I'm about 6'1", 240. I'll sweat. You know what I mean? I gotta stay cool.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I like it when it's perfect, where you can actually open the windows and get that nice cool breeze in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then waking up as the sun's coming up and the birds are chirping.
That's perfect.
Hallmark card.
Plus, you don't have to have the heat or the air conditioning on, so
save that money.
Wallet.
Yeah.
Spend it on fun stuff.
Yeah, we usually get that for 3 days in the spring and fall, and then the terrible weather.
Yeah, and
Spring was a
Besides
great
the roll
weekend this year.
those 3 days won't be together either. They'll be spread out.
No, yeah, they'll be just sporadic.
Yeah.
So, man,
Also, sorry, real quick, for those listening, I do apologize. My voice is not back to normal. We were at Revolver on Saturday, Wrestling Revolver in Dayton, and I screamed myself hoarse, and my voice is still on the way back. So
it's like you're changing your voice again.
yeah, right.
A second puberty.
I'm feeling very verklempt.
So I like to go and scout a lot of other promotions, and Wrestling Revolver is one that I've heard good stuff about, but I haven't personally made it to. So there's probably 6 to 8 within the greater loop here that I've actually gone and checked stuff out. But I'm guessing you guys would recommend them as to they got good somewhere to check.
Yes. So
Man, they're awesome.
I'm actually wearing this Tusslemania shirt. That is our buddy Roland Lugo. He does a lot of ringside, not just ringside. He'll do like promo shoots, whatever. He does photography, videography. You've probably seen some of his stuff. It's very. He's got his videos have a very unique look about them. But if you ever need a ringside photographer or videographer, I highly suggest hiring that man because he really makes stuff look awesome.
He has the eye. I mean, it's amazing the artwork and the artistry that comes out.
What was his name again?
Roland. So his brand is Tusslemania.
Okay.
You always see this logo. There's different variations of it, but
Sure.
His name is Roland Lugo, and he is absolutely fantastic. I think he's based out of Florida.
CCW wrestling.
Yeah. CCW is his home promotion, but he does all the stuff for Revolver, all their promo shoots, all their video and editing and him and Sammy Callahan do it, but he does like shoots it all, and man, I can't say enough good things about him.
Revolver, does that uses like Sammy's students from his school, and is that right? And do they run like every couple months, or how often do they run?
So they don't use a ton of his students. They use some. A lot of his students are usually like security and stuff like that, or helping backstage, doing roadie stuff.
Yeah, you got to work your way up the system. So
yeah, they've had some really big cards, man. Like they had, this last one we were at was Jake Chris versus Steve Macklin for the Revolver title. They had a golden ticket gauntlet, which was essentially like a over the top rope Royal Rumble. And whoever wins gets a title shot at any point. And
we have a shark concept to that in our company. I think a lot of people go with that one.
Shark Boy showed up at that, which was outrageous and awesome. But they also had an 8-man tag. I don't know if you're familiar with SGC, Second Gear Crew.
I'm not, no.
Mance Warner, one called Manders, and Matthew Justice, and they had John Moxley team with them. Mm-hmm. And that was against the Rascals, which is Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz.
I know them guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys are incredible.
So yeah, they have some absolutely insane cards.
Who are those guys trained by? Are those Sammy's guys?
So Rascals?
I think Trey Miguel came from a guy named Justin Carnes, who wrestles as Crimson. Up in the top of Ohio, and then I don't
Toledo,
know. Yeah, Toledo, yeah. And then I'm not sure about the other guys. I've talked to Trey about all of the guys.
Because I had never heard of them until Revolver. Matter of fact, there's quite a few people that are.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I remember Myron reaching out to me when he was about 19, and I think he was working out of Louisville. So I don't know if he was being trained down there, Ohio Valley, or what.
He does a lot of stuff down that way. So I think he is out of there. I know he's doing like New South Wrestling and Derby City and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then knew it all about where he's from.
They usually run once a month, and so far they've been alternating between Iowa and Dayton because Sammy's brother has a house out in Iowa or something like that, and they pull some pretty big crowds out there.
Well, yeah, that's like a really cool footprint for the organization too. I didn't realize that they had that big of a range. That's cool.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing is they're kind of branching out right now. They're going to Texas in July, and I believe they are going to start branching out even more. So yeah, it's a really awesome. Not to obviously we can talk about your promotion too, but yeah,
we'll get to that.
They're pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I like to delve into any of that stuff though, because the more knowledge I can have, and there's so much wrestling out there right now, and it's so hard for me to keep up. Like I have a team, board of directors and stuff, so like I always believed you're only as good as people you surround yourself with. So I'm always trying to soak up like a sponge knowledge from whoever I can.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, you have to excuse us. We're just kind of off the adrenaline high of we all just had an all around great experience Saturday, and that's what all these events are all about. And still, as grown men, going there and getting acting full, and I mean, just absolutely just.
I'd say 98% of people involved in wrestling are fans or marks or whatever you want to call them. The 2% is going to be people like the Road Warriors and stuff, where some promoter just saw them and was like, "Hey, you need to come be a part of this." Or some smoking hot girl that's going to be a valet. But other than people like that, like we're all super fans. I mean, that's what it is.
Man, I gotta thank you for one of my favorite moments of all time. Man, I don't know if you remember.
Give me your hint. What are we talking about?
You had Adam Rose versus.
Oh yeah, Rosebud. Okay.
And I got to be a Rosebud. And it was such a huge story because that was one of the first matches he came back super big.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted to talk about the difference in his size, and they kept showing the clip of him coming out.
From Battle on the Border.
Yeah, it was at me, behind him dressed as Stitch.
Wasn't Justin Xavier in there too?
Yep, it was cool, man. That was one of my favorite moments, man. It was pretty cool.
So I think that's when we had him wrestle Brian Pillman at Blue Note, right?
Yes, sir.
So we did. Wow. I think we did that match a couple times. I think we ended up doing it twice, and that was a big hit for us. And as far as I know, Adam Rose his name's Ray. I believe Ray wrestled his last match ever at Battle on the Border, unless like he told me he was retiring. I haven't heard of him being back since then. And it was against Aaron Williams up in Hamilton when we did a Christmas Chaos at the FGW Arena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Aaron.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Williams' ratings, man. I've said it 100 times. I don't know how that guy isn't
unsigned and don't care, right?
Yeah, man. He should be signed.
The only thing I can think is it's got to be maybe just his height because he's 5'10" or 5'11". Not even to say that's small, but his in-ring talent is up here. Like he's got speed, he's got strength, he's got technique. I don't know what's holding him back other than unless people just want big guys.
Yeah, I mean, hell, a lot of the wrestlers we've met, I mean, Eric towers over him, and I mean, there hasn't been a ton of people we met, minus like a Kevin Nash or Madman Fulton, stuff like that. Guys that are, just freakishly tall.
So why do you guys think that would be that someone like him would be unsigned? Like, what's your theory? Just bad luck? I mean,
maybe the right person hasn't seen him yet. That's all I can say, man.
He's been doing it for what, 15 years?
Everywhere.
I mean, you could say the same thing about like Jack Vaughn, dude. Like that dude would be awesome on an AEW or I mean, hell, even NXT. Like he's a proven draw. Like,
and he's TikTok viral, right?
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, didn't that the stuff that WWE loves, being all like social media conscious and all that shit?
As long as you're not making money off of it, yeah.
Right, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But so
we're gonna need
something there with Jack Vaughn. He was wrestling as Muldoon for many years, and I think he's only done the Jack Vaughn thing for maybe like 3 years or something. So, like, if he would have had this gimmick all along, I would think he would be signed by now, maybe.
Yeah.
So I still think he could be though, man, because he would just.
But he needs to do it soon because he's in his late 30s now.
Yeah.
Needs to happen next 2 years or so.
Diamond Dallas Page, that shit, man. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's a rare to hit a home run like that.
Oh yeah,
that dude's just like I don't know. I've listened to him talk, and it is just incredible the kind of regimens and stuff.
His flexibility, and he's how old is he? Like 60? I mean, he can just move around ridiculous still in his 60s, I think.
Makes us look like shit. I know.
Try DDP yoga.
And that's what Mike was saying. I tower over a lot of these guys, but their athleticism towers over me by mountains.
Yeah.
So,
or the other thing for me, like I'm bigger than a lot of my wrestlers, but they have the cardio, and I'm not going to run around like that. So
that's kind of a big deal.
Who was it we met? It was not this past Revolver show. Oh, Bandito. It was at a couple Revolver shows ago. And like I stood next to him, and I tower over that guy, but that guy could also probably pick me up over his head, no effing problem. I've seen him do it to multiple guys my size. So.
Yeah, man. And when I was younger, I got really humbled, and this isn't exactly wrestling, but I was in a place called Nishimi Dojo, and I was with a 5th degree black belt named Ben Nishimi. And, I was heading by about 40 pounds. He was only about 5'10", 185. And he was, like, leg kicking me to death, and he was in and out. And, like, every time I'd swing, he was gone. And, like, speed and cardio can kill if you don't know how to handle that, right?
Yep.
Sounds like a cartoon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
So, man, tell us, how far back does your wrestling fandom go, man? What was the spark for you?
So the earliest thing that I remember in wrestling would be about 1985, and that would be like the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, and then like the death of Gino Hernandez. So I was only 3 years old then. I was born in '82, and that's the earliest I can remember is the World Classic Championship Wrestling down in Dallas area, Texas, all that. But then the first pay-per-view that I ever got, I talked my dad into at 5 years old. In 1987, getting Hogan versus Andre, WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome. And I think that's the one that just like maybe took it to the extreme and made it a lifetime thing. Like that one was like larger than life. But I actually didn't start with WWE. It was the smaller shows, but the big guys locked me in.
That's what
so you put them over that 93,000 threshold, is what you're saying. You and your dad got there, and they were like, "We got it, 93,000." Yeah.
Well, I wasn't there live for that. I would say I watched it.
You watched it. Okay.
Yeah, the only WrestleMania I went to live was the one in Detroit with Trump.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Interesting one.
Yes, that was. Yeah. Absolutely.
You saw the President of the United States.
Yeah, who would have known, right?
Terribly performed.
It's the best WrestleMania ever. Everybody's saying it.
Everybody's saying it.
It's huge. It's huge.
Everybody agrees. It was huge.
Ask anyone.
And then the other one that always sticks out to me is I got to go to the first ever King of the Ring at the Nutter Center up in Dayton back in '93.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a cool experience.
Really? I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, because that was a new event, and I'm like, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got tickets for SummerSlam this year. I'm excited for that one. So we're going to go out to Detroit ourselves here soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice little trip up there, about 5 hours. Not too bad, right?
Yeah,
actually, we Googled it. It's only like 4.
Yeah, I guess you guys are a little north of me, probably. So yeah. Okay. Very good.
Dads are doing Detroit.
That's right.
Because the 3 of you doing the road trip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my brother's going.
Well, and his his brother. Yeah.
So flip the script to you guys. Where did the Dad World Order come from? Was it always you 3? Did you start it like one day just popped in your head, or like how did this happen?
Well,
it's a beautiful story.
It's actually these two start with, however I can point here. These two started it with somebody else, actually. So they're technically four members so far at this point of the DWO.
Okay.
But Brando, he stepped away, and then I randomly met these guys I met Big Rig at a Danhausen signing.
Yep.
And we hit it off. We started bullshitting, and we went to a wrestling show together. And then
fun fact: that wrestling show was a Battle on the Border show.
Yeah, it was your show. It was your
that was the first wrestling event me and Cephas ever attended was Battle on the Border.
Yeah.
Was that one of the Blue Note ones, or where was it?
No, that was out at River's Edge.
It was on Cleves.
Oh, so you guys you've been to that one? Okay, I love that venue. That's like
I did too.
Yeah. See, and that was the cool thing for me. I grew up in Coleraine, so like I used to play, flag football and shit at River's Edge all the time. So like when I saw it was there, I'm like, oh, cool. This should be fun. Like I know the venue, and that was awesome.
I believe you fought Ledbetter.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, in the cage. Yep.
Yeah, and I took a bunch of staples to my head, and what was really bad? I took those staples. I'm thinking, man, this is going to look like hooks here. It's going to be a good show, bleed everything. Well, the blood didn't really come out until after the match when the referees pulled him in the back. Then I'm bleeding like a stuck pig and no one sees it.
You should have just yanked a couple out.
Yeah. So while I was in the ring, I should have just started pulling them.
Well, that was another fun match. Was Hooks and Ed Gonzalez. We just had him on.
Yeah, we just had Ed on last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ed's a long time friend. So I'm going to tell you guys a secret for Ed. You know, Ed is retired like Heather, right?
Yeah.
Every time I get him to do a comeback, I negotiate with him when he's drunk. Because he's a man of his word, so he'll say, hey, I'm retired. You get him about 6 shots in, get him to a handshake deal. The next day, you know, he'll regret it, but he will realize that he committed, and he'll end up sticking with it. So I hope you don't see this and know my strategy, but he might have.
Well, apparently he uses that strategy on other people because he did the same thing at Squared Circle to a talent that he had attending the show. Got him drunk and then had him agree to be a part of his show the next day, and they're like, "Yeah, okay."
Reluctantly agreed because
so he learned from you. He's like, "Hey, people use this on me. I'm going to use it on other people."
I believe he told that story here too, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
That's funny. You guys both talk about the same exact.
Both utilizing the same tactic to get people to wrestle.
Old trick, but it's reliable, man. I feel like I do, and I'm gonna stick with that one.
Love it.
We actually worked together previously, and
us too.
Is that like the phone business or?
No.
We were maintenance technicians. We both worked at a place called Perfetti. It's where they make airheads, actually, down in Erlanger.
Okay.
And after I left there, we, kind of talked here and there, but then we both ended up going to the first AEW show in Cincinnati. It was the one right after Punk came back.
Yeah, I think Brian Pillman, my boy, was a part of that, wasn't he? I think he got a good pop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me, that was dope. He was the Rampage main event, and him and Mox after the show singing the Skyline theme song. It was awesome.
That's what they did. I didn't know that. That is cool.
Oh, yeah. It was really cool.
2 hometown favorites.
Yep. Well, that was the thing is, dude, that was all the way back when the Acclaimed were heels. Like, everybody hated them.
Dude, they couldn't be a heel now. They're just too...
It's impossible.
I mean, I think it's mostly Max, right? But regardless...
Yeah, I'm
digging the rhymes. I love his controversy level, and I like how he'll say almost...
Oh, he just loves getting pops out of people, man. Doesn't matter what it is.
And I like the fact that they don't disclose what he's going to say ahead of time either. So he's out here talking about these people's, wives and all this stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
Might get him smacked around in the back. You got to be careful.
Yeah. Like, that's a trigger, but hey.
Getting cucked by a kid named Dominic.
Dude, that was so good.
Yeah, that was like the zinger of that one. He was ripping on the House of Black, and they're all white, and they're wearing blackface.
Yeah.
So that I ended up did I see you at that show, or did I just like text you because I saw that you posted you were at the show or something?
Yeah, we had talked about going, and you brought Emmy, and I was a hot mess. I
Mike
way too hard.
Mike was a few pops deep.
Daddy Pops.
But we just ended up texting a lot about it, and another guy that we worked with, him and Mike talked at work, and it just kind of became a group chat, just talking about wrestling every week, oh, can you believe what happened, whatever. And it was constant, man. It wasn't like every couple days. It was every single day we were talking about wrestling. And eventually we were like, why don't we just do this on camera, you know? And kind of started from there. And it's been a lot of learning experiences.
How long have you been doing it now?
Last September is when we started it, so not even a year yet.
So you should do a really big one for your year anniversary.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna.
Everybody's got some kind of cool guest. Maybe everyone's got a bottle or something. Like
maybe for our 1 year anniversary, we're gonna have Tony Khan and Vince McMahon on at the same time. See what happens.
Oh, that's right.
Or maybe we speak with you privately off the air, and maybe we,
Yeah, you're not going to have Denim Blevins in, so you have the 3 powerhouses?
We'll have Tony Khan, Denim Blevins,
and Vince McMahon.
And maybe Triple H, just for a little extra.
There's not an elephant in that room, is there?
Right, yeah. But, yeah, it's like I said, we started with Brando. he ended up having to step away, unfortunately. But
He's still a member.
Cephas, oh, absolutely. And Cephas kind of stepped in, and he was a guest a couple times, and then eventually we were just like, dude, you just want to keep coming on, and it just kind of developed into that. Originally, it was just going to be, oh, we're going to have you on for Wolfpack Thursdays, and then it was like, well, we're just going to have you on all the time.
When it's good, it's good.
Wrestling is one of them things that if it's like this for you guys, it makes me feel young, because I'll be 41 years old here in September, and like it takes me back to my childhood. You know, I got a full-time job, I do all these things, and when I'm at the wrestling events or talking about wrestling, I'm not worried about anything. I'm just being silly, having fun. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like it. It's kind of like when I go out and play softball with my buddies. I'm just forgetting about the world.
Yep. I think it's important to have fun, man. It's important to still not necessarily be a kid or be childish or whatever you want to call it, but it's important.
Some kind of outlet, right? I mean,
exactly. Yeah. It's important to have fun on this trip that we have on this weird ass planet. You know?
And with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, you know, for a few hours a week, you know, to be able to escape that and, you know, to this fantasy world of professional wrestling. And I don't know about how your experience is, but I know for us, it's a lot of positivity that comes out of it, which is kind of weird that something that's kind of centered around violence is, you know, has so much positivity emanating from it. And
it's I've come to notice that the wrestling community is like a collection of misfits, and I fit right in with that. So
yes.
Yep. And it's one of those things that like I personally am able to, you know, share it with my kid. She loves it. We watch Dynamite, SmackDown every single week. She comes to shows with me. I know Mike gets to, you know, share it with his son. His daughter just came to a show with us recently. I know Cephas shares it with his kid.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can go and I can kind of act like a kid again for a couple hours when we go to a show, or even when I'm watching from home, you know, I can act like an idiot and just, it's fun bonding with my kid over something like that.
So I'm out too.
You talking about the family thing, that makes me have to mention this right here. So, and family's been a big part of mine, and that's my two brothers there, Brandon and Jeremy. I don't know if you guys know, both of them have passed. Jeremy was found dead in 2022 at 31. And then Brandon was found dead in 2019 at 33, so I'm the only brother left. But both of them are in my Hall of Fame for our company, along with Bobby Fulton, Rob Conway, Shane Douglas, and Heather Owens, which is Ed's wife. But my point I'm getting at here is like it's family-based. So my mom works the door every show. My sister is always at the shows. My dad's at them, cousins, my nieces and nephews. My brothers were both directly involved before they passed. So yeah, like big time family experience for me.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It's one of the coolest things ever to be able to share that with your family. Which I know some people do, you know, kind of participate in wrestling, maybe because they don't have one, or, you know, they lost, you know, a family member and it makes them feel like a part of one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's really cool to just, even if you are coming in with your family, just that whole, everybody that's there, it just feels like a big family, you know?
Yeah, and I personally use it as a way to like honor my brothers and stuff too, because you know, things like that in life, you can either have that glass be half full or half empty, and I know that they wouldn't want me to sit around sad. So like I have had trophies with both of their names for the Hall of Fame made, presented to my mom. She accepted them for him. So like my brother Jeremy, he's in the Battle on the Border Hall of Fame for our softball team. His number 3 is retired and is on the sleeves of our jersey, so he's known in the softball community. And then also once a year up in Morrow, Ohio, we have the Jeremy Blevins Memorial 3-on-3 basketball tournament, because he was big into that. And all the proceeds from that I take and donate toward my sister's kids' college fund, so that it seems like they're still getting a gift from their Uncle Jeremy, even though he's been.
There you go.
So any of that stuff, like, but I use the wrestling to lift people up, whether it be my family or different sports teams. I've used them for like doing fundraisers, helping them make money. I've supported the VFW, so they get the alcohol sales, because my grandpa fought in Battle of the Bulge. So that's another thing you guys might not know. The acronym Battle on the Border came from my grandfather who died right before I started the company, and he fought in Battle of the Bulge in World War II. So I took the BOTB, Battle of the Bulge, and made it Battle on the Border, and started doing shows at the VFWs and stuff to try to
I didn't know that.
Try to tribute my grandpa.
You just took one of my questions I had wrote down for you. I was going to ask where the name came from.
No, that's super cool. I actually was just recently, like last week, watching Band of Brothers, which that battle is a part of that miniseries. So that's right here in the forefront of my mind when you mention that. So that's wow, that's wild.
But
that he came home from that. That's really amazing.
But as far as saying the name, so that acronym, that's how I came. And then specifically Battle on the Border, because we started on the West Harrison line, and our events were jumping from Indiana to Ohio. I thought that gave us kind of a unique perspective down there where we could hit 2 states and it kind of vibe. Yeah.
I like it.
Did you have like people like on each side and you had almost
so when I first started, we would literally do like, this is guys representing Indiana, this guy's representing Ohio, to like have them fight like that. Now it's gotten big enough where we've gone to enough different cities and stuff. It's not really like that so much anymore, but that's where the roots come from.
I mean, has there ever been a show? Have you ever done one, or is it a possibility to actually do one on the border somewhere? I don't know if you can find somebody with a farm that has the state line running right through it and be like, let's do it right here.
We did this. In
That's awesome.
West Harrison on the state line. It was at MVP Sports, and I got the police officers to shut down the street on the actual state line. And it was a wrestler named Johnny Knockout and a wrestler named Kalam. They went from one state to the other and back for the pinfall, so they wrestled one match in 2 states. So,
wow,
that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Explored that gimmick. You got to, right?
Absolutely. You got the name. You got to go for it.
Yeah. If it's there, you got to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's super cool, man. Yeah, as soon as you said, like, oh, it's kind of by the border, I'm like, you have to do a show on the border then.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's cool.
So your current world champion is Brian Pillman Jr., correct?
Yeah, he's been the champ for about a year, man. He's had quite the run of success, beat a lot of big guys.
He's been absolutely astounding to watch. We've seen him at several different places, several times with you, but we've seen him all over the place as well. What's he like, man? Is he as energetic as he seems, man? Is he more laid back, or how is Brian Pillman outside the ring?
All right, so that's an interesting question. Brian is a guy that actually has been with Battle on the Border since before he started training to be a wrestler. So I knew him before that, and just because I thought he looked like his dad and stuff, before he had ever got trained or anything, I had him come to the Battle on the Border events and just sign autographs and things like that. I had him, I remember, do commentary for a match between Chase Owens and Ricky Morton, and so he was involved with the company before he even started wrestling and such. And very laid back. We would have drinks together after the shows and things like that. He's appeared for me down at the Florence Freedom representing Battle on the Border, throwing out a first pitch and stuff like that. So he's one of my go-to guys, man. He's for having all the things that he has going for him. He's very down to earth.
He's on our list to get on the show. He's already agreed to. He actually agreed to do our show before, but we just haven't set it up yet. But he's on our list. We got to get him on here at some point.
That's the thing. The scheduling can be a conflict because all of his appearances have to run past Tony Khan's desk.
Yeah.
So basically, he's been with us a long time, so he can get that stuff passed. But obviously, they have priority. So I've had times before where I've announced, a main event, and then a couple weeks before AEW, adds an event. Obviously, I'm not going to be in a bidding war with Tony Khan, so we have to work around that. So that's a little bit of a hassle. But even beyond that, Brian still probably makes 70% of our shows, I would say.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and that's cool. A guy. That's one thing I've really appreciated about AEW is them allowing their talent to do, indie shows and stuff like that, and the fact that the talent still wants to do them. When we were at Revolver, Mox was there. That dude could go sit at home and come to Dynamite every other week, and he'd be fine. But
he could retire right now and do nothing.
That's not who he is though, and that's it makes me respect him all the more. He he's a journeyman, man. He just wants to go out there and work.
Like Mox, I mean, he used to work hardcore in this area, kind of like my guy Hooks does now. So
right,
if you were doing that for peanuts, I mean, you're a lover of the sport. You're not really in it to be rich. So I don't think Mox got in it, quote, to be rich. Like, yes, that's right. I'm sure he's happy about that, but I think he just originally loved wrestling, and then it worked out for him.
Yeah, and like I mean, for me, it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It just seems like he's having so much more fun now. Now that he can kind of
like the shackles have been taken off of him, the handcuffs taken off, however you want to put it. He's got that creative freedom.
His bills are paid, so now he gets to play.
Yes. Yep. He's a made man.
Yeah, I just I'm totally brain farted on what I was going to say. Oh, now I know what I was going to say. Not just Mox, but like Pillman too and stuff like that. Like, they could very well be like, oh, I made it now. I don't have to do this stuff anymore. But they, it just shows how loyal they are to their roots. And I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, they want to give back and help out the next generation, all them type of things. Yeah, you're right.
I love it. It's awesome.
So, you've had a lot of stars come through Battle on the Border, but one I've seen a lot of, man, that I have a ton of respect for is Bobby Fulton. How'd that come about, man? Did you just randomly see him at a show or?
Okay, Bobby Fulton, if I'm remembering this correctly, because it's been a long time ago, I believe he was a referral to me through Iron Man Rob Conway. Those guys are pretty close, and Rob Conway put me in contact with him. And Bobby Fulton has been one of my MVPs. As I told you, the initial Hall of Fame ever was my brother, who helped set up the ring and all that, and passed away first, along with Bobby Fulton and Rob Conway. So that was the first three people in 2021. And then in 2022, my other brother had passed, and then him along with Hardcore Heather, and then Shane Douglas. I mean, that's obviously, I think of him up here in my Hall of Fame. He's got trophies. He's booked at all of our shows. Right now, Bobby Fulton's managing the 7-foot monster Paxton Calloway. And then he's also we have a once a year match called the Bobby Fulton Rumble, and it's a battle royal basically, and the winner of that gets a 1-year contract to have Bobby Fulton manage him. So that's how he got locked up with Paxton. And then last year, Justin Xavier, if you guys know who that is, high flying guy.
Yep.
You just linked up with Jake Christ.
Yeah. So something cool about Justin Xavier, you guys will probably like this. He and his family are like personal friends my whole life before into wrestling. So Justin Xavier used to be a front row Battle on the Border fan as a kid. He wasn't even old enough or anything, and he would just buy tickets every show with his family. He also played on my softball team at River City West, or Rumpke. He was our right fielder. He's got a really good arm and all that. Jaden Jett also was on that same team. So those guys, once they got 18, were like, hey, Denim, can we get trained? I want to be a part of it, not just be a fan. And right here where I'm sitting is where they were sitting with me before they went to their first class ever. And like we're just talking about, go do it and stuff, because they're getting a little bit of nerves. It's day one and all that. So those two guys, I love them so much just because they went from being fans to being wrestlers. And the only other guy that would fall into that exact same category is a guy named Amos, if you guys know Amos.
Oh, I know Amos.
So Scotty and I played softball together and all that, and he also came to Battle on the Border as a fan. Sent him to Cody Hawk, told him, hey, you get trained where he certifies you, and you'll be part of the show. And Amos has made me proud since then. So all those guys. Wow.
He's fantastic. I watched him a lot at FGW, because FGW is right down the street from me. So, it was an awesome Friday night when it was where it was at. And man, he has a way with the crowd. He is a really good face. And then you don't see a lot of those in the indies these days.
I feel like he wasn't a 4-time wrestler of the year for him.
I believe so, yeah.
I feel like I saw that online. I mean, that right there speaks volumes when you've only had a 5-year career and you're a 4-time franchise player there. I mean,
I knew no matter who he was facing, I was going to be entertained.
Well, something else cool about Amos, a lot of times when these guys go to get trained, it'll take like dependent if you have a good trainer. So say someone like a Cody Hawk and that, like some of these schmucks will certify people really quick, but it doesn't mean much, right? So if you have a good trainer, usually it's like 6 months to maybe even a year until your show ready. And Cody Hawk told me after 4 months that Amos was ready to get in the ring for me. So that was the fastest I'd ever seen someone develop through a legitimate system. And he was on my show, and Cody said, hey, he didn't miss a single practice. He was the hardest worker. Like, so I said, okay, you're in, man. Like, that makes me super duper proud when you can get through faster than anybody has done.
That's cool.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, when I send someone like Scotty there, and I'm either going to look good or look horrible because I'm sending him to Cody. And if he's some schmuck, Cody's going to be like, Denim, why are you sending me these turds? You know what I mean? But then on the other hand, if he comes out and turns into one of the main guys in FGW and all that, then it's like, okay, now you maybe look good, Scotty. I appreciate that.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a good prospect, dog. That's all I'm saying. You definitely set that guy on a good track because he's made an impact. And
then I don't know like how long you guys have been following him, man, but Scotty weighed about what I weigh, about 240, and he's probably only 5'10" when he got into wrestling. Now he's maybe 175, something like that. Like he's lost maybe 6 pounds and
he was a chubby guy.
Yeah, he was thick. Like we played softball and stuff together. Yeah, he would party it up and be thick. But
that's crazy.
I'm telling you, man, you'd have to confirm with him what he lost. But I'm gonna say it's like 60 pounds.
He's cut, man, dude. He looks chiseled in a way.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like the fat guy that lost weight. If you know what that looks like, he actually looks like he was always skinny.
Yeah. Lucky ass.
Right?
Just undying determination.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, that is awesome.
Well, I think he did it the right way, though, because he slowly lost that weight. It's like he would just lose a few pounds every month. Like, it was a very good process for him.
That's awesome.
Right?
So, your next show. What is the next show date for you guys?
Okay, the next one is July 2nd, and it's going to be something new. It's in Middletown. It's our first time ever going there. So I have a buddy who owns the old fire department up there, and he's donated to me. They're going to have fireworks and all that. We're going to have a little bit of fan appreciation activities. So there's going to be some pre-show matches. There's going to be a little cornhole tournament during the day that involves some of the wrestlers. We have more matches than normal. It's going to be BYOB, so bring your own beer. That always helps draw some people out.
Oh yeah,
but
that's right up my alley.
Yeah, we have we have 5 different divisions with champions, and 4 of our champions are going to be there. 4 of the divisions champions. So Brian Pillman Jr. will be there. He's our heavyweight champion. Jaden Jett, who's our zero gravity champion, will be there. Hooks, the hardcore champion, will be there. And then our tag team champion, they're led by David Spector, but it's Madman Fulton and Congo Kong. So all those guys will be there. And then the only champ we have that won't be there lives out in Seattle, and that's our women's champion, Malia Osaka. So it's just a little bit, she'll be back soon, but as far as juggling all these people's schedule, it's not as easy as what some folks may think.
Yeah, you said at the fire department in Middletown is where it's going to be at?
The old fire department. So it's not currently a fire department. I guess it was a few years ago, and my buddy bought the building, and now it's called Slab Jacks. He has a T-shirt shop ran out of there now.
I'm wrestling T-shirt guy. There's wrestling there. I feel like I gotta go, man. You're one. This would absolutely. It's not that I don't already have a million things on my plate, but I think I'm gonna have to add.
Yeah,
slice of battle on the border pie, man.
Yeah. Plus, it's a Sunday and it's BYOB. I mean, you might as well, right?
Man, and it's July. Absolutely. I'm off that whole next week. After that, I took vacation, so I mean, it's not like I gotta fucking get ready for work or nothing.
Same here. So the main card there is from about 4 till 7. That pre-show is going to start at 3. But I'm probably going to consume a lot of alcohol myself because I'm also off and it's a holiday. And this show is something that's like an add-on to our schedule. So it's something fun and something new. Like we have, our cornerstone events that we've always had. This is an expansion. This is something I want to go up there and have fun. That's what I'm going to do.
Consider me a ticket sold, brother. I don't think I'm going to have to bring my ass up there for that one. Maybe I can get old Pillman Jr. to do my T-shirt video with me.
Yeah, but dude, I had something we were working on for last show. And it could be maybe a little bit of a spoiler here, but we're working on him having an entrance at the Cleves venue, River's Edge, where he takes his motorcycle in. So we started actually practicing because that's a big concrete stretch down the middle.
Oh yeah,
If you door up, he can just literally fly in like that. And we haven't perfected it yet, and that's going to get a pop if we pull that off, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah.
Champ coming out on the motorcycle. I mean, come on.
That's badass.
Oh, people go nuts for that.
Right.
River's Edge going to approve that for you?
So I'm really lucky with that because I am the head umpire there also. So like, yeah, so I kind of have an in there, and I've known the lady that runs it forever. So like those fields, they do indoor softball and all that. I'm the one that gets the umpires and assigns them and stuff like that. So we have a mutually beneficial relationship. I probably have a better chance of pulling it off than a lot of other people.
Plus, you're the umpire, so you say what goes. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Oh, yeah. So, were you always interested in being a worker yourself, man, or did just running the business get you into being a worker, or was it kind of a reciprocal yin-yang kind of thing?
Man, that's a tough question there, because I have loved wrestling my whole life. But I've also like loved baseball and basketball, and I played on volleyball teams and flag football. I did amateur wrestling back in school. I've done some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so basically every sport I loved. So to say now, when I was a kid and stuff, I definitely dreamed about wrestling and stuff, but no, I wasn't actively pursuing it in any way. But I mean, I did like it a lot. I wrestled with my friends my whole life. We would throw on the boxing gloves. I had grappling mats. I had all that stuff. Whether it was real, we would do legitimate sparring, or we would do the WWE style, work everything out and scripted. So I did that all along. But how it really came to be is me getting pressured by other people that it would be best for business. So then I'm like, okay, I'm fully capable of doing it. So it's not anything like that. And if you guys think it's best for business, then I will do it.
Denim, they weren't wrong, brother, because don't get me wrong, I was going to that show, but I would be lying if I didn't say that you versus Ledbetter was a draw for me. When I saw that was going down, I was like, A, I need to see how Denim acts in a ring.
Yeah.
I need to see that myself. And B, I got to see them in a cage together. I feel like it could be, it was absolutely entertaining. I enjoyed every second of it, so I'm glad I went.
Thank you. Yeah, me and Ledbetter have a lot in common. We're similar age, we're similar size, similar athletic backgrounds. We're similar the way we think as far as being somewhat articulate and be able to, put together a plan and things like that. So there's actually, I think that's a really big part of it is the chemistry of who your dance partner is, and that worked out pretty well, especially for someone just jumping in head first like me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that was the first show that I had been to that y'all had put on, and when the cage match was coming up, Cephas turned to me. He's like, "Dude, that's the guy that runs the promotion," and I was like, "What? Why is this guy getting in the mat?" And then it was that Mike said it a million times how it's always cool going to shows and seeing people that you wouldn't, you don't know of or whatever, and they just make you a fan. So that's, one of the coolest things to me is going in with no preconceived notions and then being like, wow, this was awesome, so.
My favorite thing.
So I would tell you guys something funny about that match since you were there. Sergeant Ledbetter wasn't too happy with me for this one, but, he's my opponent, so that's going to happen. So I get that kendo stick in the ring, and that was my first time ever swinging a kendo stick in my life. I've swung a million baseball bats and this, that, and the other. So when I grabbed that kendo stick, I end up going up on the second rope and jumping down and tattooing him with that across the head. Well, I grabbed that thing in reverse, so he got hit with the knob sticking out of the handle. So he didn't just get nailed with the kendo stick, but he got hit literally with that piece sticking out right across the head right there. Ooh. And I didn't realize that until after the match was over. But, what are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do?
So, Denim, I hate to do this to you, but every once in a while when we have a guest on, one of us will realize that the guest looks like somebody. And
I told you.
And
I got it.
We have decided amongst ourselves
okay,
that you are a dead ringer for a certain WWE Hall of Famer.
Hey. Only I was as ripped as him. I mean, my goodness.
That's what I was laughing when you were telling the story. I started laughing. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing because Mike said that in the group chat.
That might not be the most flattering picture of him, but he is imposing, man. I've met him in person a couple of times. I'm like, I don't know how this guy's late 50s and looks like this. I don't know. But yeah.
I never realized how big he was. Like, I watched him, growing up my entire life, and then, ended up...
I'm 6'1", and he towered over me.
Seeing, it was some AEW match. I can't remember which one it was, but, he was wrestling somebody who I had seen in person, so I knew exactly how tall they were, and I saw how much taller he was, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
it's just...
Usually you guys start to lose a little height after 52, and he's pushing 60 years old and still that big.
Like the best he's ever looked.
Yeah.
When you notice a guy like Hogan, it looks like he's gone from 6'7" to about 6'4".
Right.
12-inch pythons.
Yeah.
I think his wife got those 3 inches in the divorce.
Oh.
Have you guys have any of you guys seen the video of Joey Janela trolling him at his restaurant down in Tampa?
No. What's he do?
He went in dressed as Florida Man, and it was karaoke night, and he went in and sang "Proud to Be an American," and I can't remember which one of the Nasty Boys was there, but they're all standing behind him eating.
Brian Knobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, "Hey man, I've seen your butthole before," and just doing all this went up to Hulk Hogan and gave him a high five, and then stole a French fry off his plate, and just doing all kinds of dumb shit, man.
Pushing the buttons to try to get that reaction.
Oh, dude, if you get a chance, go watch it. It's one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched in my life, but it's great.
So Joey Janela is someone that I've considered bringing into Battle on the Border.
Please do.
Please do it.
So his trainer is a guy named Dan Pettit. He's wrestled for me as Dirtbag Dan. He come all the way from New Jersey, and he's our former hardcore champion. So, Dan actually mentioned to me before, what about we do a student versus teacher match out here, Dirtbag Dan versus Joey Janela. So that's something that is on my radar that maybe I would do that. You guys think that would be good?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anytime teacher versus student, too. I feel like those always work out pretty well.
I will be there bright and early with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is there anybody that you personally that you'd love to have, but it just is just the unattainable or anything like that? Is there anyone on your dream list that you'd love to have perform at Battle on the Border?
Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna sit here and think just a little bit. I know, from people that I've had, I always look forward to having Marty Jannetty. I consider him a pretty close friend.
I hope his foot gets better.
Well, dude, his foot's been like that for years, and it's actually he's got 2 bad feet. But Marty is probably crazier in real life than what you see online.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a brief summary of this. I'm not going to say too much because I'm not going to incriminate anyone or anything like that. But we're at a after party for Battle on the Border, and I have security staff. Well, some of the security staff is not wrestling security. They were actually people that I knew from my personal life could handle themselves and stuff. All right. So this one particular guy is Iron Horseman, and he's here at the after party with us. Well, his girlfriend's name is BJ, and Marty and BJ, give me a BJ. And just keep reiterating that because he's stupid drunk. And I'm saying he said that double-digit time, keep pushing his buttons. And I remember this Horseman pulling me to the side and it's like, dude, I'm about to take care of this guy. I'm trying to explain to him well, he's a legend. Well, them guys don't care about that because he didn't come.
No, not whatsoever.
He didn't come to the event because he cared about wrestling anyways. He was coming as a friend to be security, and he don't even know who that is. So basically I had to tell the guy well, I'm going to have my people get him out of here and get him back home. Let's just brush this under the rug. But
right.
Stuff like that be happening with Marty pretty regularly. And then he also still has some game. We were at Harrison, a place called Triple Cats, and he got the
Triple Cats.
Yeah, the 3 hottest triplets in town digging him, and I'm thinking dude, you're 20 years older than me, and I'm lucky to get one girl, and you've got these 3 girls sitting on your lap that are triplets. I don't know what to say about that. He must be hung like a horse or something, right? Like I don't know what's
must have learned a lot from his tag team partner.
Yeah.
Either that or he taught his tag team partner.
That too. You never know. Maybe Sean learned it all from him.
I have had a few experiences with Marty myself. Way before I did a little bit of training myself, but I happened to luckily just run into him thanks to a group of friends. And I partied at a house with him one night. And let me tell you, there's no out drinking or out partying that guy.
Marty will do anything. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but he'll do anything.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah. I'll tell you one more funny thing with him, all right? And I'm not going to say who this person is, but I'll say that they're a former WWE Tag Team Champion and they've been at Battle on the Border. Well, this person's telling me like that they're over in Europe with Marty and then they get in the scenario of going to have a threesome with this girl. And he said as soon as Marty depantsed, himself backed out of it because he was like ashamed of himself. Like,
like let's go grab another beer.
Yeah,
that's have fun.
That explains a lot, don't it?
Yeah. Well, never mind.
Peace out. Like, yeah.
I
don't think I'm going to add much to this.
You know what? He's got us both covered. I'm just going to go have another beer.
Yeah, that's what I took from that right there. But you're saying as far as the wrestlers, another one that has been fun every time that I've had him around is the Sandman because he's also how you would imagine him to be, basically. And then if we're going to go past that, someone that I'd really want to have that is probably remotely possible is Jerry Lawler. And the reason there is that I was friends with his son. I was friends with his son, Brian Christopher, and Brian died a very questionable death, as I'm sure you guys know. Like they said, it was. They told the family it was over a fight during lunch, and while he was in jail. Well, here's the thing: they said he got into a fight during a card game at lunch, and then 4 hours later had hung himself. Well, anyone that's played cards before, you don't get in a fight with someone and then go kill yourself. You're mad at the other person. Like that doesn't make any sense to be mad at someone over a card game and then I go off myself, right? And then second of all, they said, the cameras in that entire section went out. So like 14 cameras, including his room, not working when he killed himself. And then also, if you think someone's in that type of mentality, you don't have them back there with any kind of shoestrings, which he allegedly used to do it. So there was like a lot of mystery surrounding that. But anyways, he was a good friend. And if I could get his dad to be involved and maybe like someday put him in our Hall of Fame or something like that, that's something I would be very interested in doing. So I'd say Jerry Lawler would be up on that list for me.
Let me just throw this out there. I would be willing to. I mean, I'm not a rich guy or nothing, but I'd be willing to help sponsor that.
Okay. Wow. I appreciate that. Yeah.
He is a bucket list guy for me. So if there's anything I could do to get a personal, just fucking, hey, how you doing? That isn't at a convention. You know what I mean? I think I would hop on that opportunity. So. Yeah.
I mean, I might be
we can discuss more.
I have a good contacted way to get him. I'm pretty good friends with Brian's number one student, and he came to Battle on the Border with him. His name's Bam Bam Bundy. So Bam Bam Bundy's connected with Jerry still. So yeah, that's intriguing to know, and I'll have to move it up on both of our bucket lists in that case.
Yeah, I mean, not wishing any ill will on him, but Jesus Christ, it's not like Jerry's lived an easy life. You know what I mean? The guy has survived some of the craziest shit in the world, man. And
you're right. And it's wild considering that out of wrestling people, he seems to take care of himself better than everyone. Like he didn't party or anything.
Yeah.
But he still got like bad luck with health, bad luck with his family. Like,
yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that I would say, who would be someone that you guys would want to see that's realistic that Battle on the Border? Anyone have like a bucket list type person?
Man, there's quite a few. I think Jeff Jarrett would be a big one for me.
That'd be dope. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of heel Jarrett. I loved when he was Intercontinental Champion wrestling with China. I think he was my first time I ever loved a heel. You know what I mean? I enjoyed him talking shit about women and then being a chicken shit. You know what I mean? So there's something about him being that character. but I think he would be a good one. I think he would be a huge draw too for a lot of the local fans.
I'm super impressed with how in shape he still is.
It's
Right?
insane.
Like I put him up there with Billy Gunn, like just freaking
Yeah.
Luger status. Like what?
And so I've actually heard, I didn't make this, hold on. Sorry, I got my dog in my lap. I heard somebody else say this is the reason that Jared has been able to have so much longevity is he doesn't do anything that he didn't do. Like, he didn't do anything back in 95 that he can't still do now. You know what I mean? Like,
There's very little wasted motion with him. Everything.
yeah, he's doing the same. Briscoe, what are you doing?
Your dog trying to make an appearance again?
He's
There he is.
trying.
Everyone, Briscoe.
Right,
Briscoe.
you guys want to meet my dog? I'll show you her real quick here. All right, Brownie. All right, here, girl. Here, say hi.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aw.
that's your old mama.
Yeah.
Oh.
Half
Yeah,
pit bull, half
mine's a little kid that doesn't listen.
Mike has
Yeah,
like 14 dogs right now.
Mine's-
Yeah, my Great Dane hit a litter of 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They're,
Great.
they're beautiful, though. I want to keep them all, but I just logistically can't. I need a farm.
So in case you're wondering what I'm doing off screen here, because I've been kind of messing with something for a minute, my wife just walked in very quietly
Yeah.
and gifted me a brand new
Aw.
Look at that.
Came up. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a late Father's Day thing, or?
I would say so. I mentioned last night after listening to our podcast that we did with someone else that I really need to upgrade my mic, that I kind of sound like I'm in a can. So
Okay.
Look at you, Fancy Feast.
put it together.
Good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Shout out to the wife.
Yep.
Wives are dope.
Oh, yeah.
Happy life.
Well,
That's
Denim, man, we've got a nice hour. It's easy to talk to you, brother.
Easy to talk to you guys too. I feel like we're just sitting around a bar.
That's
That's
the
exactly
best
what we
kind
go
of
for.
conversations we can get here, man.
Yep.
Is there
I have
anything
one-
before we? Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
I
Mike.
have one last question, or at least maybe not the last question, but a question. How about that? Do you know what you call a girl in the middle of a tennis court?
Oh my God. I feel like I should know something clever here, but what is it?
A net.
Okay. I like it. Dad joke of the night.
Oh, that's great. But man, besides your show coming up on the 2nd, is there anything else you want to promote before you get out of here? Or
Okay, so July 29, we do our second annual Moores Hill Mayhem. That's going to be really big, and I just sent out a contract today. Brandon Day challenged Shane Douglas, so Shane Douglas
Cool.
is verbally accepted to be there. So that's July 29th out of Moores Hill. Then August the 19th, we're going to be a part of a new festival down in Aurora, Indiana. I'm not even sure what the name of the festival is, but they're paying me to come in and have some wrestling matches during it, so we'll be doing that.
Oh, wow.
August 20th, we're back in Harrison, Ohio for River City Wrestling, which is at one of the ballparks where I'm an umpire at, Rumpke Ballpark, River City West. So that'll be good down there on 128. September the 2nd, we're back in Cleves for Armageddon. So we'll have the cage, and that'll be a really big show at an awesome venue. And then I know October 7th, a Saturday, we're at the Farmers Fair in Aurora, Indiana. And I think that's about as far as I got it booked out right now.
Okay.
man, that's hella booked.
I know, right? That's what I was gonna say. That's really forecasted there.
Yeah, I mean, slowly growing over time and just growing very methodically, and just don't try to do too much too soon. Just keep the core together and just add little pieces here and there.
Are you still having fun?
Well, I'm having fun. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have fun, man. I'm a person that I'm all about fun in life, and I'm very much like a free spirit, probably no collar type of person where I'm only going to do things I like. Like, life's too short for me to do anything else. So during the day, Game Changer Athletics, I build basketball courts and pickleball courts and stuff. So like next week we have one coming up. We're doing one at Zach Taylor's house, the Bengals head coach. And then
Who
Who
dat?
dat?
yeah, who did? Yeah, so stuff like that. We just did one for Chris Collinsworth. We just gave Joe Mixon a football field in his backyard and a basketball court with his name on it. Stuff like that, man. So during the day, I'm building sports type stuff. I umpire. I still play softball. I mean, I wrestle. I run my wrestling company. Everything sports related. I just try to have the time of my life every day.
Man, that tells me we need to have you back for a second show for sure, man.
Yeah.
I was going to get a football field and a basketball court in my backyard, but I don't have the room or money. So
yeah.
Really
We started doing this right after he got the contract was when he did it. Man, I like him though because he takes care of his mama. She's got this big 28 gold chain, and he's like flying her in and flying his family in to play ball with him. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I feel like he gets a
$300,000 Lamborghini. I think he told me he spent like $50,000 on the lighting fixtures in his house. I'm like, dude, $50K on the lights? Like, what is that, right?
You ever been to Menards? They're like $20.
Yeah. Like, okay, bro. But then, of course, as
your light guy, man.
As you see, though, he has like 10 people live with him there, and then he gets in trouble on the news and all that because not even necessarily him, but you got 10 people living at your crib. People start acting stupid. I mean, it's in your name, so.
And you're the name, so you're obviously going to get the attention.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely have to have us a beer at that Middletown show here on the 2nd. That's definitely a plan.
Yeah, and come up, say hi and stuff, and I'll try to help you guys get some Battle on the Border person to come on and do an interview too if you want one. I don't know how often.
Absolutely.
Jr.
Yeah.
Wow, we gotta run that by AEW, but we'll
I
do
know.
our
I'm
best.
just talking shit.
Send an
But
email.
absolutely, man. I'd be, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a lofty ask, but you never know until you ask. But
it's like asking the hot chick on a date, like, right? It's not how many no's.
Franchise, man.
Yes.
If you get us a contact with franchise, we'd love to talk to him. So.
Okay, dude, he's a great talker too. He'll talk your head off more than me.
Dude, you get Shane Douglas on here with us, I will love you forever.
Yeah, he's a teacher in real life, and he'll just talk about. Now he'll get super political with you. I will have to warn that. I have to steer him away from that. But yeah,
we'll try to keep him on the narrow.
Keep segueing
because
that's so easy to do.
Yeah, with Shane Douglas.
Yeah,
what are the problem with this country anyway? Do you like kitties?
What are your thoughts on Paul Heyman?
Right? If you guys want to at least send me this video and I'll put it on our page too. I mean, I'm sure is there a link or whatever it is to where people.
Brother, this is going to be on everything from Apple Podcast to Audible to YouTube to Twitter to anywhere you can find it.
We'll send you the link and you can share it. You can share it to the page.
Yeah, because YouTube is probably the best, right? Because that at least shows us. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's our personal preference, but some people just like to listen.
Yeah. Right, depends what you're doing.
They're missing out, but whatever.
Right.
These 4 handsome faces, right? I mean,
that's right.
Although I shaved my beard earlier this week, I feel like I should have let it go.
You gotta leave it.
Yeah, with you guys.
My daughter told me the other day I'm not allowed to shave my beard. She was like, "No, absolutely not." Like she's never known me without one, and I asked her the other day, I'm like, "What would you do if I shaved it?" She was like, "Nope, not happening.
It's not an option."
We're not even sure if there's a chin under there.
It's
always been
I've had this thing for so long now. I don't know. I don't even remember how to shave, so it's not happening.
Right. Save some money.
Right. Well, Denim, thank you so much for coming on here, man. We really appreciate you. Battle on the Border, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. It's a fun promotion to go to here in the greater Cincinnati area. But even if you're from a little ways out, man, you can come see the franchise. Shane Douglas, Brian Pillman Jr., like he said, Congo Kong and Madman Fulton are their tag champs. Those guys are fun to watch. So go check them out. They're awesome. And as always, we have been the DWO Podcast. I have been Big Rig Eric Maffey. He has been Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He has been Wrestling T-shirt Guy Cephas. And Mr. Denim Blevins of Battle on the Border. Thank you so much for coming on. You see our handles right there. Pretty much everything is at DWO_podcast, except for the Facebook, which is at the DWO Podcast. Go check us out. Until next time, though, Top Dads out.